What's going on YouTube? So today we're going to make a video about Penny because Penny is currently my main. Yes, I am a tank main. I know what kind of struggle that is. I have therapy scheduled in the near future and I will continue to do this because this is just kind of my playstyle. It's right up my alley. Now, just a little bit about me. I do play a lot of competitive modes in FPS games. So before I played this is the first hero shooter that I've really taken seriously. I played Destiny and I was a Trials player and I played every single weekend for many weeks and many years. And I've actually gone solo flawless 28 times. That's the only times that I've gone flawless is when I was solo. And what I learned about playing a game mode like that in a 3v3 game mode as a solo player was that sometimes you have to just be your own team. You have to figure out a kit that will allow you to basically be 3 separate players at the same time. And that is exactly what drew me to Penny here, because she is more than capable of doing that. And I wanted to show off maybe some of the techniques that you may not have seen, or at least just some things about her kit that I'm not seeing other Pennies utilize a lot whenever we team up in comp matches. And just to let you know where I stand in the game right now, currently I'm silver 1. I'm definitely going to be gold. That's just a given. I know I can hit that. And I'm pushing to see how far I can go in a game like this, because I'm kind of learning everything for the first time. And if that's something that you want to stick around for, leave a like on the video. I'll make more videos like this with other characters. I definitely have other characters that I've been putting into my rotation. Most of them are tank and support. I know I'm such a rarity, but to all the other tank and support players, I just want to show you guys something that you may not have seen. So to get started here, we're just going to go ahead and review the fundamentals and just understand what Penny's kit can do at a basic standpoint, because once you understand that, then you'll be able to advance and use other techniques and add more to your kit and use your kit in different ways. So just quick review. Of course, she's got her super, the spider sweeper, the bionic spider nest, which is basically Penny's main play cycle is revolving around that spider nest. She has the mines, she has her cyber bond, which is where she can basically web sling herself. You can use the wall crawl, which is just a passive, and then of course you have the web snare, which is your stun. So the number one rule when it comes to playing Penny, and this is where I see Penny's making the biggest mistake, is when you are playing Penny, you should never ever not play in a web. You have too many webs available to you to where there shouldn't be a time, or at least there should be very few times, where you aren't engaging another opponent from within your own web. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to make sure you have the spider mine down and you're just playing from within this field every single time. That's not the point. You can get all of the benefits. You can get the additional speed, you can get the additional health, all from being just within any spider web strand. See, watch when we step out. After a little while, you hold on to that health for a good little bit too. It goes down and then boom, we step back in it. Look at how fast it ticks up. Really fast. You can almost out DPS, or excuse me, you can almost out heal a lot of DPS situations too, just depending on what your movement speed looks like. Of course, when you're strafing, you should be circle strafing, because if you go side to side, you're going to reduce your speed. It's better to circle strafe and throw a jump in there every now and then too, because like I showed you, even if you land outside of the nest, you still have that health a little bit, and you're going to come back in and just strafe right back on through and make sure you're getting your health back up, and then jump to make sure you're getting, the Hawkeye or the Hello on the other team to miss crits. But you can do that with that nest. You can do it with this web right here. No matter what, you should always be inside of a nest. The second rule that I want to go over is that you are always, the goal is to protect this drone, but you are not this drone. And what do I mean by that? What I'm saying is that this drone is the key to a lot of strategies. And when Penny is down, this is your second teammate. Think about it like that. What I was saying with the Trials plays, you need to have a kit that basically supports being extra teammates for you. This is your second teammate. Your third teammate is the mines. We'll get into those in a second. But whenever this is down, this is your main means of passive damage that you're putting into the other team. If you're playing a good team in comp, they are going to target this every single time. So of course you cannot put this out in cover or out in the open. You need to put it in the cover. Get creative where you put it. You can slap it behind the bush, where around a choke point, and try to see if you can extend a little bit further around these corners. That's something I'm going to get into in a minute in the advanced section. But for the most part, you want this thing to be as hidden as possible. The next thing is that if you do have this down and you're defending a point, you're holding the zone, say an AoE ult comes through, Moon Knight, Thor, or even worse, Iron Man, right? What I typically do is I take this drone, boom, destroy it when I know that ult is coming, and I just go ahead and reposition myself somewhere else. So that way I'm waiting on that cooldown to happen. Let me go ahead and I'll change the, oh, it's already off. So what I'll do here, I'll just show you. A lot of Pennies don't realize that this is on a cooldown based on the health. So we're at about half damage, right? Bam, destroy it. That's a 7-second cooldown, right? We're gonna wait for it to come back. Tick, 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 tick. Boom, we got it back. Now we're gonna take a little bit of damage. 2-second cooldown. See what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go all the way through. Let it get destroyed. See who can destroy it first. The bots are probably gonna die. Boom. All right, now we have a 15-second cooldown because we let that get destroyed. Now, that's why I say you are not your drone. You can move that drone just as well as you can move your own body. Just because you placed it down doesn't mean you have to fully commit to that section, and it will shoot out those mines. I believe you can have about 21 of those little spider seekers out, but once you pick that nest up, it's going to pick them all up. Is that a bad situation? Yes, but it's better to have that and just reposition and try to get everything reset up again than to wait the entire cooldown length if you don't have to. So just to recap, drop it down. If you are getting attacked or you just have a bad position, or straight up, say you put it in the side of a wall and you don't like the way the nest spreads out. See, now that right there, that's a good coverage. Now, if I were to take this and stick it like back here, so now we don't have as much coverage because most of it's going off the side. Don't worry, just pick it up, put it right back down, reposition. Don't be afraid to do that as many times as you need to, because this is just giving you more area to play on and more areas to cap and defend. Rule number 3, always be throwing mines. Now, what do I mean by that? If you look at Penny's damage profile here, if you look at her normal attack, it does about 30 damage. It's really small, it doesn't do a lot, and she doesn't have the ability to crit. So on top of that, you might as well just go for body shots anyway. But whenever you throw a mine down and it goes off next to him, boom, look at that much damage. The mines themselves do about 100 damage a piece. So when you have all 4 mines ready to go, boom, 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 you make a little cluster here, you get somebody to run over it, that's 400 damage in an AoE, all going off at the same time. Or pockets, a bunch of pockets of mines all over the place that's constantly evolving on the battlefield. And I promise you, the game, it tells you that you should be hiding these underneath the nest. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about these being under the nest, because 9 times out of 10, when you get to the higher levels of comp, they're going to be destroying your big nest. They're going to take that out immediately, and then they're just going to be exposed with these mines. But nobody is looking at them. You can have these out in the open and they'll run right over them anyway. So you might as well throw them all out. And also, just to show you, I can't do it all right now, but you can have, I believe, 15 of these out at one time. And look at how fast they come back. So what you should be doing whenever you're engaging, back to rule 1, be inside of a web of some kind. You should be shooting and throwing a mine. I typically try to spam it a little bit when it comes to the button whenever things are really chaotic, but otherwise I'm looking over at just a quick dart over at my cooldowns just to see if I have a mine ready. And if I get too happy with holding on to my mines, then I make sure I just burn them all. Just burn all my mines at the same time, spread them out somewhere, because putting in those little pockets of damage is what makes Penny such a good tank. And she kind of leans into support a little bit like that, because 1, she can heal herself, and 2, she's putting down a lot of cover fire for your DPS to go in and to take down those lower health targets. So, and you can throw these pretty far. Check this out. That went all the way. Look at how far this mine went. It's all the way over there. I threw that from all the way up here. You can launch these across the map. You do not have to put them in your immediate vicinity. I always put some mines down directly next to the nest in case, you know, like somebody's running me down and, you know, they got a Venom or a Thor or a Cap or somebody chunky that's just going to try to beat this thing down. I put these mines down so that way I can start to snare them up and keep these mines going down, and also having the tick damage coming from all these little seeker bots so I can eat them up real fast before they can destroy that. And if they destroy it, fine, but they took a lot of damage in the process, and hopefully somebody on my team is here to support me with that. And then you just get out of the situation. Penny has a lot of escape tactics, and you reset yourself up. Boom, put down a nest, get your health back up. you should always be standing on the nest. I can't put that in enough. And then lastly, stun, and stun again. You have probably the best stun in the game, in my opinion, because it's on a 3-second cooldown and it goes wherever you shoot it. You can use this against flyers, you can use this against tanks, you can use this against ults. It works on Penny's ult. I know it stops Scarlet Witch. I know you can use it on Iron Man to stop his ult. You can also, I believe, use it on Spider-Man, but I can't confirm that. I haven't used it too many times on Spider-Man when he's using his ult. Just experiment with getting that stun in, because you're doing two things whenever you get that stun set up, right? If you're in a 1v1 situation, say I got pushed out of my web, I'm in a corner, I'm low health, I'm trying to survive. I put this web back down, I'm attached to it, boom, hit him with a stun, shoot, mine, keep going, boom, hit him with a stun again, shoot, mine. You just keep going in that cycle there, so that way you are putting in as much damage as possible. When you stun them, you completely cripple their ability to do optimum DPS. So now you are possibly giving yourself the chance to out heal their DPS that they're putting out, or even better, you're also giving yourself the chance to get another mine to throw back down, and hopefully that'll go off in time for you to kill them and do a big chunk of damage. Either way, those are the two things that you need to be focusing on whenever you are in a gunfight. Am I in a nest? No, fix that. Am I throwing enough mines? No, fix that. And then afterwards, stun. And you can launch these stuns from across the map. Another thing I see Pennies do in comp that is just really infuriating is when they don't help, when they're down lane. Like, look at how far I snagged him. It's not that hard to just jump and throw. These go really far. I don't know if I can snag that guy over here. Let's see what we can do here. Snag him. God, I'm a terrible shot at that far. But when in the heat of battle, when you're looking down lane this far, you can be putting in all kinds of suppressive fire. Like I said, you could throw a mine super far if you get really good at just launching those up like that. You can also throw a net. You can keep some pressure on the enemy team whenever you are Penny and you have your position locked down and you're comfortable. Once you're comfortable, your only job is to just keep putting pressure on the other team. Keep mines in the area that you're defending, and you keep putting a little bit of damage either with your blaster or with your mines down lane. So that way your DPS can come in and they can do their job and they can take out the weak opponents, and you can just keep holding tight and sitting pretty and soaking up all the damage, draw all the aggro, do what you got to do. And all the while you keep strafing because you have increased movement speed. So those are the 4 fundamental things. Always fight in a nest, always be using your mines, always be stunning, and don't be afraid to destroy your own nest, because you are not the nest. The nest is you. You move that around wherever you need it to be to reposition. If you need better coverage, you get better coverage. If you need to get out of a tough spot because your first drop wasn't good, just go ahead and destroy it, grapple, reposition, drop another one down, set up again, start it all over, drop some mines down to protect it, and get ready to hold that point. Hell, body block it if you can. What I usually do is I'll see if a long range character like Hela, for instance, if they're targeting this, then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna body block it because I know I can soak up that damage and I can keep stunning her all along the way. And I'm gonna just gun her down, keep body blocking it, keeping my mines up, keeping everything rolling the way I need it to. That is how you play that point right there. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to some more advanced tactics, and this is what makes Penny a 4-star difficulty character. Is not because her kit is hard to understand, it's because the amount of versatility and utility you get out of her kit. It takes a little bit of some IQ brain power to think about how these things interact with each other in the heat of battle with all that chaos going on. So first things first, the main other thing that I see other Pennies make a mistake with is they assume that she's slow and they treat her like she's slow, when really she can dash off and go ahead and start getting towards the point. You just got to be creative about where you stick your webs. You can cover a lot of ground with Penny very quickly. I've seen where even some people will take the nest right here just to get the speed boost, and they'll just keep dropping it down. I think that's ineffective compared to using just the grapple, honestly, but it is what it is. It's a 3-second cooldown. I have everything on like unlimited, obviously right now, but in between, you can throw this down when you know that you're not going to be getting shot at. and you can cover some distance because you're getting that speed boost. But I can't tell you how many times I'll watch a Penny and they'll just come right out of spawn and they'll just taking the long run all the way to the point when they could just be grappling across and moving a lot faster to go ahead and set up. Getting to where you need to be first is absolutely vital when it comes to playing Penny because she depends on the setup. So I'll also put up in the background just another example of what benefits you can get from this. Like I said, when you put out these 4 mines, that's 400 damage, right? I will take this movement, right? And I'll use it to get to the other side where the team is going to spawn in on a convoy, right? Whenever we're on the defense side. And then I'll get to that side and I'll throw up 4 mines, all 4 of my mines that I spawned with, right at the door. You know, it's been out for what, 2.5 weeks now. There are not a lot of people that understand that you can go out more than just the main door whenever you're starting a match. So you will absolutely snag a free kill just about every time whenever you go to do this, because it's either going to be their DPS or one of their support players that are only at like 250 health that are going to get taken out by that. The next advanced tactic here that I am honestly still practicing myself is using this bungee effect to the fullest extent. So see how you'll yoink yourself back up here? Say you're pushing a corner. The way this activates is when she's tethered, all you have to do is let go of your directional control. So see, if I keep holding forward, it's going to slow me down, but I'm going to keep going forward. The moment I let off, it pulls me right back. Pulls me right back. And you can do this as many times as you need to until you detach. So say, once again, we're holding this point right here. We're going to put this right here. And I'm going to throw a little piece right here. So I'm going to come out. Just got to be careful not to snap it like I just did. I'm going to come out. And then you're going to just keep pulling yourself back. Bam. Head peek. Bam. Head peek. Bam. Throw a mine out.
This is gonna hurt.
Keep going. And then eventually it'll detach. But that's something that you can use from up high to kind of help give yourself a little peek in and peek out maneuver. And it's something you can take advantage of on the ground whenever you're trying to, say you're trying to peek around a corner real quick and my enemy's over here. Boom. Throw a mine out.
Time for some fireworks.
Like I said, I'm still working on this a little bit because I'm working on trying to understand the distances where it will activate and where it won't activate, just getting used to how much tension I can put on it before it snaps. Usually the thing that snaps it is the geometry of the map is what kind of messes it up a little bit, like you just saw with the stairs here. But that is a tactic right there that I definitely don't see any pennies doing right now. Nobody really has gotten a grasp on this yet, at least up until the rank that I'm playing so far. And that's something that I'm definitely trying to practice for myself because it's really good movement tech. Next thing I have here, if you play a lot of DPS, you understand about weaving in melees whenever you are shooting. Honestly, that's something you can do. I don't find it to be super effective with Penni because you're already trying to throw one of these mines down anyway, and that's way more effective than trying to do the melee. But whenever you have those characters that are right up on you, like, it's not that bad. It's not hard to go ahead and just throw in a quick melee real quick. But as you can see, it doesn't really affect the damage profile that drastically. It's just one more quick thing that you can do to kind of help out. And I find that it also interrupts your shooting a lot more than I'd like it to.
It just wasn't your day.
So that's something that you can throw into practice as well. But you should be putting those mines down first over anything because, like I said, that's a free 100 damage. And it's a free 100 damage with an AoE. Boom. Hits 2 of them at the same time. And now the last thing I want to show you guys, I can guarantee you a lot of these pennies are doing this wrong, and that's using the ult and how to use it. So whenever, I'm going to go ahead and just pop it real quick and show you what it looks like. You pop the ult, you're throwing down these nests, you're throwing down mines automatically, and you can also press LT to go ahead and throw down a mine. And you also have this little attack that you press with RT that targets whoever's in front of you, and it knocks them up in the air as long as they're a lightweight character. But as you can see, it does not throw down a lot of mines, and it doesn't do a lot of damage when it comes to you running into them and smacking them with that melee. So the number one rule of using Penni's ult is that you should never be using it unless you already have a mine down, or excuse me, if you already have a drone down. because as I showed you guys earlier, when you extend the web, you're doing the same thing with the ult. So watch this. My drone's all the way up here, right? We pop it. Don't even worry about shooting at them. You can throw these things down, but you see how they come all the way down, and they will travel wherever you have these nets down, wherever you need them to go. All the while, you should still be throwing down some mines, you should still be meleeing, but you need to have this first and foremost to make that super as effective as possible. Otherwise, you're just kind of causing a lot of chaos, and you're probably going to get yourself killed. So yeah, you're going to get targeted pretty heavily. You're massive, so they can all hit you from pretty far away. So you're going to want to stay on your nets, on your little webs here, to keep your health up whenever you're running around in that super, and you're going to want to make sure you're extending it from your drone. So once again, you get a little bit of extra health here, but trust me, that 1250 will go down real fast. Ideally, you want to pop it too whenever you also have max health with the extra overshield too, and that way you have the best chance of doing as much damage as you possibly can. But the only time that I'm throwing that without having my drone down first is, like I said, I'm trying to cause some chaos. Maybe it's the last few seconds of the game, and I'm just trying to get people knocked back and out of the area where the transport is for the convoy, so that way we can get the win. Those are the times that you should be using it without. Otherwise, it is way better to get it and then just hold it into a point where you have a pretty good position and you can throw your drone down somewhere far and then just run that ult and get as far as you can into the enemy side, and then you just do what you got to do and retreat back to your nest or find somewhere to duck off to the side, throw a web down, and get your health back up. But that's how you should be using that super. Now, the last little thing that I want to just throw in here, just as a little extra bonus tip, is ways to support your Penni. The best thing that you can do when you have a Penni on your team and you see that that Penni is going in, they're taking territory, they're locking it down, and they're holding that position, what a healer needs to do is help Penni with her healing if she's being targeted. If you see that Penni's drones are being destroyed immediately and that Penni is just kind of off to the side and they're in the middle of one of these little webs here and they can't get that drone down, that Penni is going to waste. So what you have to do, get a healer to kind of help out with Penni whenever she's holding that final stand, that point,
You know what to do, spiders?
and give her the opportunity to put in the damage for the team, for the DPS. The other thing you can do that would best help your Penni is to, of course, just take out any characters that run up on your Penni. That's what you should be doing with a tank anyway. Your tank's supposed to be absorbing all the aggro, bringing all the characters into this nice little funnel where they're going to try to beat her down,
This is gonna hurt.
and you are going to be shooting at those characters while Penni is in here juking them out, doing what she does, throwing down mines, shooting them, snaring them, getting them stuck. Otherwise, you need to be shooting off any of the enemies that are off at a distance. The flyers, Iron Man is the absolute worst for Penni because he'll just go ahead and shoot this down from wherever. But Penni also needs to be, the Penni on the team needs to also do better at making sure they're hiding this away and setting up those points, and maybe just targeting the Iron Man themselves and trying to snare them up or shoot them down, because Penni can shoot down an Iron Man pretty decently as long as that Iron Man isn't too wily and she isn't being attacked by everybody else. And the Penni could, you know, like sit here and ping the mess out of whoever is getting on her nerves. Moon Knight's also pretty rough for Penni because Moon Knight will ricochet off of this and off of the Penni and whoever else is in here. So that's what you should be doing. Don't crowd your Penni. Let Penni hold this point by herself. Keep her supported with some health from a distance a little bit. And if you see somebody running in on Penni, go ahead and shoot them while Penni's trying to take care of them. If you see somebody from a distance holding Penni, then go ahead and take them out if Penni's pinging them. And you just make sure that Penni stays in the fight as long as possible, because Penni will out total damage any DPS in this game. I promise you that. If you let the Penni sit there and go to work, then Penni is going to keep your opponents smushy, let you be able to go in there and take them out quickly, and she's going to keep just supporting you from the back. Penni's main goal is not to gather as many kills as possible, but I have gotten many games with Penni where I have gotten the most kills in the lobby and the most damage, and sometimes the most healing if there's not another healer in there, just because I've healed myself. So that's something that I would, strongly encourage whenever you have a Penni on your team. Domination maps, especially if you have a Penni and there's another Penni on the other side, your job is to take out that Penni's nest. It's plain and simple. Take out that Penni's nest, and then your Penni can handle the rest. Your Penni can string them up, they can battle it out, they can duke it out, team up on him if you need to, if you can, honestly, but most likely that Penny's probably going to try to retreat out and go somewhere else and reset up whenever they have a nest ready to go again. But those are my Penny tips, and I hope that you gathered something from out of this video. I hope that it helped you maybe get a little bit of insight onto how Penny works, because she can be a little bit complex when it comes to the heat of battle, but she's really super simple. Once you understand the fundamentals of how all of her abilities kind of work together and how you can use your abilities to escape situations, how the drone works, how you can put out as much damage as possible, I predict that we're going to have a Penny problem over the next season as people get onto more and more how Penny can be so useful in a game, especially in a game of domination where you're just capturing a zone. And if you like this kind of content, do your boy a favor, just go ahead and like this video for me so I know I can make more of these without getting flamed for not being a max top 500 player with all this yada BS. It's okay to not be the best of the best. You can always learn something from somebody, and that's all that I'm trying to do is just spread more information, because boy, let me tell you, I've seen some sorry Pennies in the comp playlist, and I love you guys. I love you for trying to play tank, but we got to make sure that we playing tank the right way. So leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm live every Friday at 8. If you want to come see me live, I will most likely be playing Marvel Rivals this Friday. So I hope to see you there. And otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I thank you for your viewership. Peace.